Hey everyone, my name is Tori and today's video is going to be a get ready with me using all of the makeup from my Shop My Stash or my makeup basket video. So I uploaded a video about a week ago with my current makeup basket and the products that I would be focusing on in the next month or two. I thought it would be fun to do a get ready with me using those products, or using as many of those products as I could, and just so you could see them in action and how I use them and that sort of thing. So, you know, hang out with me, grab a snack, and let's get ready together. And today's video looks a little bit different. I'm attempting to do another get ready with me, but this time I'm actually trying to film it on my desk. So usually you see me like sitting on the floor, like in front of my little vanity space, but today I have the camera like set up on a bunch of books and I'm going to attempt to make this work. So what you're seeing here, this is like a this is a cabinet kind of thing, so there's a door on it and I've got stuff inside of there, and then behind me this is my nail polish rack. This is where I keep like all my nail polishes. I got this on Etsy like years ago. I've had this forever. And then over here, clothes. So I film all of these videos inside of our closet and it's not necessarily like the most ideal situation, but I don't know, I feel weird like showing my clothes in the background. This is what I'm working with. This is my setup right now, so we'll see how this goes. I have a light up mirror here. Hey. I don't know, the lighting in here isn't great, the background's weird, whatever. We're just gonna go with it. Yeah? Okay. So today I'm gonna be using the products from my Shop My Stash selection for this month, and I've already posted that video. If you're interested in seeing that, I will link that down below, but I'll be picking from those products and kind of mix and matching what I feel like wearing today. So you can see I have some active breakouts. You can like really see I have some active breakouts. This is all from, I've concluded, from that Peach mist, the Peach Perfect Too Faced Setting Mist. It's breaking me out. It is what it is. So I went ahead and returned it to Sephora because I'm not going to use it at all. And I couldn't get the peach powder to work for me. I just didn't like it. And I couldn't tell if maybe that was also breaking me out. I have no idea. So I went ahead and just returned the entire kit. I went ahead and still used my Too Faced Primed and Peachy Cooling Matte Skin Perfecting Primer. And I haven't had any problems with this primer. This is maybe the second or third one that I've gone through of these. I'm almost done with it. It's fine. I've never had any like breakout issues with this, which is why I feel like it's so weird that the other products broke me out, but I don't know. I used this on my T-zone today, and since my skin is feeling a little drier than usual, which is weird for me, I'm going to be using the First Aid Beauty Coconut Skin Smoothing Priming Moisturizer. Yeah, I use this on the outer perimeter of my face to give it a little bit of extra moisture because I tend to get like my foundation will cling to, it just looks really patchy and like it settles into my pores weird on the outer perimeter of my face. So I use both of those primers today. So I'm going to go ahead and put my hair back so we can get started. So the first thing I'm going to be using is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. This is the foundation I chose for my makeup basket. I usually shake this up before I apply it. And I pretty much always apply my foundation with a damp beauty sponge. This is from Flower Beauty. This is my favorite one that I've ever tried. This is my maybe third one of these. I just pump it directly onto the sponge, about at like a pump and a half, and then I just go directly into my face that way. I feel like this gives like maybe medium coverage. I don't think this is necessarily like a full coverage foundation, but I do think it has like a very nice natural skin-like finish to it without being too dewy, which is why I like it. The next I'm going in with is my Tarte Shape Tape, and this is in the shade Light Sand. So I go in with this concealer underneath my eyes, and then I'll do it like anywhere else on my face that needs some extra coverage. So for example, I have some of these active breakouts, so I'll just kind of rub it where it needs to go. And then I'll take my beauty sponge and just blend that in. So I'll just take my beauty sponge, like the fat end that I use to blend out my foundation. Then I just blend out the rest of my concealer using that end. When I get to the concealer underneath my eyes, I'll switch to the kind of more pointed end so I can get up underneath my eyes. To set underneath my eyes, in my video I actually talked about how I was going to use the Peach Perfect Setting Powder. Since I returned that powder, I'm going to be using another powder that's new to me as well. And this is the Fenty Beauty, what is this? Pro Filt'r Mini Instant Retouch Setting Powder. I'll just use this to set underneath my eyes and to set my T-zone and smile lines and all that good stuff. This is the Morphe M438. This is probably like my most used brush. I put a little bit of the cap, swirl my brush in it, tap off the excess, and then set underneath my eyes. I find if you use too much of this powder, it can look really cakey. So I try not to use a ton of it. Like I really try to get the excess powder off of my brush before going in and setting anything, because it has a tendency to look really like thick and creasy, just in my experience. So a little goes a long way. So I really just put this in the places that I get oily the most. So that's just my T-zone, my forehead, my chin, my nose, all that good stuff. I'm still kind of on the fence about how I feel about this powder. I still think I may like my Laura Mercier loose translucent powder a little bit better, but I don't know. I haven't decided yet, so we'll see. I want to keep using it and kind of see how I feel about it. So to set the rest of my face, I'll be using my IT Cosmetics CC Airbrush Perfecting Powder Sheer to Full Coverage Finishing Veil. So this is actually, I think, can be used as a foundation, a powder foundation. I've tried that before. It was just not a good situation. It slid all over my face. I feel like this gives you more of like a natural skin type satin finish than matte. I go in with my Morphe G0 brush, just a big fluffy brush, and I'll kind of stamp the powder, and then I'll go in and just press it into my face. I find that stamping the powder on my face is a little bit more effective in setting my foundation than like dusting it, you know, like dusting it with a big fluffy brush. I feel like I get better coverage, and it just sets a little bit better when I stamp it instead of brushing it on. I don't know if I'll repurchase this when I'm done with it, only because it is really expensive, and I feel like my drugstore powders do the exact same thing, if not better. For bronzer, I'll be using my Colourpop Private Party bronzer, and this is still kind of new to me, but I have used it a lot. I can already see the rings in the pan. I don't know if you can see that. I wonder how much product comes in this. It doesn't seem like a lot, unless I just use a lot. I use a Real Techniques, I think this is, yeah, I use the Real Techniques powder brush, and I just swirl into the bronzer and then tap off a little bit of the excess, and then I'll go in right underneath my cheekbones and then blend it up into my temples onto the side of my face. This bronzer is a little bit warm for my taste. I do think that if you go in initially with too much, it can be a little harder to blend out. Like, it blends out, but it looks a little streaky. You have to like really work with it. Like, it's not that bad. I don't know. It's just, I'm so used to my butter bronzer from Physicians Formula, and I really, really like it. Y'all see it? Do you see it? It like, and that's like totally probably user error, right? But I don't know. It, it eventually blends out. You just kind of have to like really spend some time swirling and buffing. Once I'm done taking it up the sides of my face, I'll also put some on my neck just to make sure everything kind of matches and blends down my neck. I prefer a bronzer that has a little bit more of a neutral undertone, just for my skin tone, but I mean, this is still really nice. It has a sheen to it, but you really can't tell. The finish just looks like skin. I mean, it has a sheen to it, but it just looks like skin. I know this is weird because my mirror is here, so I'm like trying to do it in the mirror, but you're here, so I can... If I push, there's no room for me to put the mirror in front of the camera because the desk is like this big, so I'm really struggling. We'll see how this turns out. Let me know what you think of this setup, because it's not like the best, but I'm just trying something new. So for highlight today, I'm going to be using my Fenty Beauty Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal highlight, and this is one of my all-time favorite highlighters, especially the like more chill side of the highlighter. But I'm trying to use up this opposite side of the more intense color so I can buy a new one because I really love the other side. I love just the subtle highlight. But I use the Fenty brush. It has like the little shark tooth, and I just kind of tap it in, then tap off the excess because it's definitely like real intense. And then I just go along my cheekbone. It's so easy with this brush, like it's insane. So I'll kind of blend it out this way after tracing my cheekbone with it, and it gives just such a beautiful glow to the skin. So up the cheekbone, and then I'll blend down. I'll even take it up into my temples, and I'll take it down onto my cheek. I'm going to go ahead and use the MAC Mocha blush. So I had two blushes in here, and one of them was a little more warmy peachy, and the other one is a little more pink. So I wanted to go ahead and use my MAC Mocha blush that has that more pink undertone. So I use the Morphe E4 brush. I love this brush for blush. I just tap it in, dust off the excess. I start on my the apples of my cheek and then work my way backwards, and then just blend it in as I go. I really like to put highlight on first before going in with blush because I feel like everything just gets more like seamlessly blended together that way. Then what I'll do if anything looks a little crazy is I will go in with my Tarte Park Ave Princess Chiseled palette. It's a contour palette. I'll use the two lighter shades and I'll mix them together, and I will just go in and kind of diffuse that line so that way I don't have any like harsh edges with the blush or the bronzer or anything. I like that palette, but I don't necessarily think you need that palette to do that step. Really, you could do it with your setting powder or translucent powder, any powder that you use to set your face, and kind of just blend out the edges of things. I don't think that you need a contour palette to do that. The two palettes in my makeup basket for this month are Modern Renaissance and Soft Glam. So for today, I think I'm going to go into Modern Renaissance since we use that pinkier blush, and I want to use some of the pinker tones in pinker? Yeah, pinkier. I want to use some of the pinkier tones in this palette to kind of tie that blush all together. I love like dusty, mauvey, pinky, delicious shades like that. So I'm actually going to start with a highlighting brush, and this is the Morphe E36. It has just like a really small little tip on it. And I'm going to go into Tempera first, and I use that to highlight my inner corner of my eyes, and then I take it all the way up and connect it to go underneath my brow bone. So I really like how that all like wraps around. I feel like that brings a lot of light to that part of the face. Let me zoom you in a little bit. Hey, I'm just putting a little bit of that Tempera shade right underneath the brow bone and then going underneath, like on the inside of my tear duct there. I feel like this brings a lot of light to the eye, especially with like, I don't know, I have some kind of bluer, purply undertones right here on the inner corner of my eyes, so I feel like this helps bring a lot of light to that area of my face. So next shade I'm going to go into is Bon Fresco. It's this pinky mauve dusty shade. I'm taking it on a really big fluffy brush. This is a Morphe M533, and I'm just going to dust that into my crease. So I put that all in my crease, not very like precisely, just kind of getting it in there. And usually I do my lower lash line at the same time as everything else, so I don't like go back and finish my lower lash line like some people do. I like to build everything all at the same time. So I'm going in with, this is a Morphe brush I've had forever. It has no name on it. It's basically just like a fluffy pencil brush, and I'm getting some of that same shade on the brush, and I'm just going in under my lower lash line. I'm concentrating the most pigment of that color on the outer part of my eye and then dragging it in towards the center. Next, I'm going to take my Morphe M411 brush. It's just like a fluffy blending brush that's a little bit more precise and tapered at the end. I'm going to go in with the shade Antique Bronze, which is right here next to Bon Fresco. And I'm just going to blend that into the outer V crease area, but concentrating more of the pigment on the outer part of my eye and not getting it like towards the center. I'm also going to try to keep that color a little bit lower than Bon Fresco. Like the heavier part of the pigment is going to be lower towards the lash line and then blend up into the crease. From there, I'll do the same thing for my lower lash line. I'm taking the same shade, Antique Bronze, on the same fluffy pencil brush, and I'm going to mostly concentrate that like super close to the lash line on the outer corner. If I wanted like a more dramatic look from this, I would probably go in with the shade Cypress Umber right here, this really dark chocolatey brown. But I think I'm just going to leave it as is. But to brighten up the look, I'm going to go ahead and go in with the shade Vermeer. It's this kind of like shimmery champagne color here. I'm just going to take it on my finger, and I'm going to put that on the inner half of my eye. Really love the formula of these shimmers. Like they're kind of like a sheeny shimmer, They're so soft and they're almost creamy to the touch. So I'll stop about halfway and then I'll go in with a brush to blend it out. So you'll kind of see how there's like a defined line on the inside, like on the center of my eyelid. So I'll go back in with the same fluffy blending brush that I use with Antique Bronze, and I'll just diffuse that line, and then I'll go in and blend out the top of the color. So that's it for eyeshadow. Simple enough, yes? I know on here I have my MAC Eye Kohl in the shade Teddy, but I do think that I have another liner that's going to look a little bit better with this look. Teddy's like a chocolate brown, but I have this MAC Eye Kohl, same product, but it's in the shade Prunella, and it's kind of like a plummy purple. So I think this will look a little bit better with the eye look overall, so I'm going to use this color instead for today. I'm going to go in with my Physicians Formula Eye Booster 2-in-1 Lash Boosting Eyeliner Serum in the shade Ultra Black. I just do like a really thin line at the top. I try to keep it as close to my lash line as possible. So once that step is done, I will start on my brows. So I'm using my e.l.f. brow pencil. This is in the shade Taupe. So my camera just like randomly shut off, so I hope this still looks kind of the same. So I don't always curl my lashes, but I do find it adds a little bit of extra like volume and oomph to my lashes. So I've been doing it a lot more recently. I'll just squeeze them like one time each, so nothing too crazy. So after lash curler, I will go in with my mascara, and I'm actually, since I returned that Peach, like Sex on the Peach set, it came with mascara in it, so I've been using that Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, and I don't have an extra L'Oreal Lash Paradise, so I only have Maybelline Lash Sensational right now. This is the only mascara I've been using, which is weird for me because usually I use L'Oreal Lash Paradise and then I'll layer the Maybelline on top. So I've only been using one mascara, which is very weird because I haven't done that literally since like early middle school. I've been using 2 mascaras since middle school. So this is weird. I'll start at the base of my lashes and kind of tease them up. Then I'll go in and just kind of press the mascara to my lower lashes. Nothing too crazy. I'm not trying to make them super thick and coated or anything, but just so that way they have some color. So I had 2 like dramatic lip options, the Colourpop Liquid Lip in Little Star and the Colourpop lipstick in the shade Tiana, and I don't necessarily think that these go with like this pinkier eye look and the pinkier blush. So I'm going to go with the gloss that I chose. This is my NYX Butter Gloss. It's the Intense Butter Gloss in the shade Tres Leches. Tres Leches. Getting a little crusty, so sometimes I'll go in with like a little like hand towel kind of thing, washcloth, and just like wipe off any excess foundation that's just been chilling and getting crusty. And usually I'll start off my makeup with wearing a lip balm. I do that pretty much every day, but I forgot today. This is very thick, very opaque, so I need to concentrate. It smells so good. Smells like vanilla. This is my Urban Decay De-Slick Oil Controlling Setting Spray. This is my favorite. I got this little fan on Amazon. I saw a YouTuber use it and I was like, well, need that. So here's the finished look. I hope you enjoyed. If you like Get Ready With Me's or this type of style of video, if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up or let me know in the comments down below. It's a little bit more complicated for me to film just because I feel like I don't have a great setup, but it's fun. Like, I don't know, I like watching the Shop My Stash videos, but I like seeing those products in action as well. I feel like that's, I don't know, I think it's cool to see how people actually use those products and put them together and that sort of thing. So, but yeah, that's all I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.